All right. After I got settled into the patch, I started to lose a lot, as can be seen by my rating, which was at like almost 2000. I was at like 2100. And then I started to kind of reevaluate what I was doing. So I've been trying Ignition Core, as I think this core is an underdog this patch. It's much weaker than it was, and it's definitely weak in this shield scaling meta. With that being said, I have ideas for it. So the current level 1 meta, if you don't know, is you can get level 2 guaranteed by the end of day 1. And as a result, you are also, if you do take the level 2 on day 1, you are also guaranteed to get level 3 by the end of day 2, as long as you don't lose PV. So that enables you to enter many more shops and take options you normally would not have taken. However, it is more limiting on day 1. So day 1 now, you're only allowed to go to one shop unless you don't go for the level 2 on day 1, which is like much weaker. The main reason that it is weaker to not take level 2 is that on level up you get a skill, and they buffed bronze skills. So I've taken my 2 XP nodes and now I'm offered Kina, which is great. So I have to take 3 more items. Lizard on day 1 is not strong unless I have a source of haste, which means I'd have to hope First Aiden appears in the next shop. I don't really like that. So I probably just take the welding helmet and roll and see if I find any good small item. Coolant is okay. Alternatively, I could go chem snail, but I'd rather have a small item than a medium item.
I may not be the most
What I'm looking for here,
but I must be the cheapest.
crit is okay, but I mean, what would I want instead? I prefer going Tesla coil, because I think Tesla coil is the most consistently strong thing to get. So I want to roll for strength or any weapon related skill. Fiery is probably better. Anyway, in this situation, it's definitely better.
9 years.
Omega Ray lighter. Do I outscale that? I most certainly do. Also, the only way for them to have gotten that ray is if they entered Sylvia, I believe, or if they went to shops twice and saw. No, because Omega Ray starts at Silver. Yeah, so they could have only ever gotten that ray by visiting Sylvia, and I think Sylvia on day 1 is not worth at all because you want to get to level 2, and you're not able to buy enough items to fill out your board if you enter the Sylvia shop. You're only, it's because each item, if you go to Silver Shop, each item, so it's each slot actually, not each item. So you have 4 slots available, assuming you're on the core build. You have 4 slots available, Each slot costs 4 gold. The best case scenario is you have 12 gold. Or actually, no, the average scenario is you have 12 gold. So you could at most have 3 slots filled. And the 12 gold is the 8 at the start, the 3 from the PvE, and then 1 from the loot you got. So you're never going to be able to fill out your board if you go to Sylvia. Anyway, I don't need to go for XP anymore, so I have no incentive to click Jungle Ruins, as this is only XP or health. So I'd much rather visit here.
Reward the peaceful, punish the
Bomb Squad is not good at bronze, but I think I'll visit enough shops to where I may be able to upgrade it.
good of all.
This is not worth upgrading. GPU is worth purchasing. I think I'm going to be low on gold if I buy this. I think it's still worth, because ideally later I find Micro Dave and remove the welding helmet, and then I'll have 2 small items to put in. I have no money anymore. If I go to Mountain Pass, I don't take the risky option, as I think it's actually, while I'm able to beat most things, there is a low chance that I get offered Trash Town Mayor, formerly Tent City Mayor, who is now a day 5 encounter, and my board will not have any chance to beat that. So I'd rather take the gold than the XP. I need the gold so that I could visit shops. This board should be able, maybe with GPU instead, it should be able to beat Rogue Scrapper. The thing that helps is actually just a 6 shield from the welding helmet. I mean, it really doesn't matter. The burn will always win before the fight gets dangerous. But like the 6 shield ends up giving me, so 30 10 30 divided by 10 3, the 30 divided by 10, no, 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10 times 6, 60. So it gives me 60 shield throughout the fight, which I guess isn't that important after all. Okay, for these loots on level up, it's not too clear what to take now. So, I mean, not now specifically, but in general. So like, you have to always check this one, because sometimes it's actually really useful. Right now it's useless. The loot I'm probably never taking over the item, just because the item has a chance of being useful, and I have to take that chance instead of getting a loot. I need to visit Tinker. I need to find several friends. First Aiden is one of them. The other one is Micro Dave. So hopefully Middle shows up. Middle did not show up. That's okay. So I can't use Bomb Squad unless I put it right of core, but it's kind of slow. However, it probably is better than Coolant, and if I'm having Bomb Squad here, I have to put Aiden on this side. So I could go Andy and potentially find upgrades on Bomb Squad. Yeah, that's like the only thing I'd be looking for. Or Quillides. So yeah, the only things I'm looking for are Quillides and Bomb Squad upgrade. And small items, I need Micro Dave, and I want a Tesla coil. This board is weak, but not completely unreasonable. I'm just gonna be weak to any shield. This is a microdave opponent. So let's see if my positioning is better than theirs. I got more burn. They just had shielding, and I guess they had more health than me? No, they had regen. They had regen. They had... Oh, so they buffed Aiden from Finn, and they shielded 75. And their shielding combined with Aegis, I mean, that didn't really matter much. So... what if I did put my core rightmost? Would that have made a difference? Because of my fiery skill? My core activated 4 times. So these, like if my core had activated, let's say 2 more times, these would have, but like it didn't scale these at all. Would I have gotten more burn? Was it even close? I don't even think it was close. I think they still had like 300 or 200 health by the time I died. But if I was applying more burn earlier, maybe. Anyway, that fight was mostly determined by health difference, so I'm gonna take silver chocolate and try to bridge that gap. I'm gonna visit Andy because I do have 2 spaces I need to fill in, and these are the 2 items I want to fill it in with. I mean, I also have coolant. I don't even roll. There's nothing I have in mind that I want to put in on the board at the moment. Oh, right, an Uzi. I'd need an Uzi, but that would be something I'd visit Ayla for. Because I'm also visiting Ayla for the Tesla coil, potentially.
But the bazaar will go dark without me!
I don't have the music on. Or loud enough. Something like that. Okay. The only thing I care to upgrade is core LEDs right here. I don't value upgrading the core at all. I prefer to have my core rightmost. That might be a mistake. I'll have to figure that out as I keep playing. Yeah, I need to visit middle because I have 2 medium items I'm looking for.
What can I get you?
That's one of them.
Oh, I think you're really gonna enjoy that.
So now the positioning changes entirely to be this, and we rely on spamming burn rather than scaling burn. I have 4, 6, 8. I won't be able to afford a decent skill here, so I just pick XP instead. There's a chance that there's a 5 cost skill that would have been valuable there, so maybe I'll regret that. Diamond bushel? Is that a problem? They don't spam shielding, so it isn't a problem at all. Yeah, I feel like this diamond bushel stuff seems like a bait. I feel like they would have rather just taken a XP or a skill from the, or just gone to a shop instead of taking the bushel upgrade, but maybe I'm completely wrong about that. Anyway, do I visit Sylvia? The only reason I would visit Sylvia is to find a silver Tesla coil, a silver Uzi. What would it look like? What would my board look like when I get those? Well, those three are out for the Tesla coil and Uzi. And that would be my board for the rest of the game. Can I afford them? So it costs 12. I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I do have enough to look, so I'll do it. Do I think Hamlet is worth purchasing? I think it's better than coolant. Now to roll, I have to sell coolant. There's no way I can use railgun. And the only reason for that is I want to use microdave. Railgun is gonna have me remove probably, so those two, and then I have to decide one more item to remove. It's probably Hamlet. I mean, it could have been okay. It's just, it's not what I it's not like my plan, but like maybe I should have considered it. Anyway, I'm going for the risky option here simply because I don't have any gold to visit the shop. And I'm confident I could beat whatever appears here.
Oh, sure. I can help you, but you have to trust me.
I value flat burn increases very highly now
Thanks
since
for
I
trusting
don't
me.
pick any burn scaling, so that's definitely worth picking. Technovirus, I'm just gonna take for the XP and health. Solar Farm at bronze is probably not playable, but maybe I could try it if I get it. Because I do have 3 items I could remove. Okay, this is 10 gold versus a silver item. I'm taking the 10 gold, and this is what I'm talking about. You have to check this, because it's not likely the silver item is going to be worth the 10 gold. So I do this change, and this is the board I want to try next. I'm going here to look for Dave and Tesla coil still. Tesla coil at bronze isn't ideal, but it's an upgrade target.
Free. I like the exercise.
This would be for Hamlet, because Hamlet has the word slow on it. And if I get something better that I'm not thinking of, I'll just take out the solar farm.
I was expecting you 0.5 seconds ago.
That's not... Is this worth the purchase? I don't think so. Okay, nothing worthwhile there, but that's okay. So yeah, I am okay with this board. I think it's better. With a bronze stave, I might not be burning as frequently as I think, though. Because I will need... So I have to always wait for First Aiden. First Aiden still leaves me waiting on this for another 3 seconds because it's this after 3 seconds is at 5, gets charged for 2, so there's still 3 seconds until this activates. First Aiden charges this, so then there's 2 seconds remaining on Micro Dave. So Micro Dave and Bomb Squad will activate at the same time. Actually, no. Micro Dave will act. Well, the answer is yes, it will activate at the same time. Micro Dave will be charged by Quill LEDs. So, I guess every 4 seconds, every 4 seconds I'll get these 2 burns. Probably this as well. So every 4 seconds I will get 3 burns. So this will have 1 second downtime. But then maybe this activates a little more frequently than I think, and then once this might have perma haste after all, if I understand that correctly, if my prediction is accurate. They have slows, so I'm in trouble. Without the slows, I think my it would have been perma haste. It looks like it's still fine. There's like borderline perma haste. So yeah, this is decent. So if I put everything to the right of the core is activating way less frequently. Everything meaning First Aiden, Bomb Squad, and Micro Dave. All of those go right of the core. The core is activating off of Quill LEDs and Solar Farm. Solar Farm is still getting charged a decent amount. It's just the core is activating a lot less frequently. So I think the only way I could do that specific change is if I upgrade Solar Farm to 2. If I want to try to add, upgrade it to 2 charge instead of 1 charge, I mean. If I hit the Tesla coil upgrade, would I remove Solar Farm? Because I think my board's fine. I think I just have to hit the health. Even if it's only 55, it's a Aiden buff. I am willing to go for middle to still look for Micro Dave.
If it's not right for you, bring it back.
I have enough money that I am considering rolling for Tesla coil as well. Now that Dave is silver, it's also another consideration to do this. One thing here that is part of why I like holding Fang, and I would also have liked to, I would have, if I had a pelt in my stash, I would have been very happy here, because I click Sabertooth. And I hold the Fang so I don't get shiny Fang. Maybe I would rather have a chance at shiny Fang over the pelt, but I would rather have as much chance as possible for the skill. So I'm probably getting the pelt, but it's not the end of the world. What do I sell for it? The lizard. So I can still hold them in case I get a random encounter that'll lead into potentially Sabertooth again. I'm not really sure how that works and if it's guaranteed or not though. So for the upgrade, the way I've been approaching the upgrade is I want to upgrade my most powerful damage item usually, and that's pretty much always the item that will increase charge. So it's gonna be Micro Dave. The Micro Dave is my without Micro Dave my board is very weak, and changing the charge from 2 to 3 seconds is a massive power spike. I have to consider if I want to go to Andy over eating contest. I think I can't skip the eating contest. I think it's getting late enough to where I'd rather sell the Tesla coil and hope I get a silver one in the shops. And I get gold chocolate. So Orion, I'd only click that to look for Hamlet. Because once I get Hamlet high enough and QLED is high enough, I think it's much more valuable than First Aiden, although it would involve me removing Solar Farm. Removing Solar Farm is also acceptable later because once I get the charging loops going, the haste is irrelevant. But until then, I have to rely on the haste. So would I go to Orion just to look for Hamlet and spend 6 gold rolling? It's very expensive to do that. And would I play gold Hamlet if I do that? I don't think I would. So do I instead get more gold and prepare for the day 6? I think I do. Between these, I'm not sure what I'd want to fish for still. I usually would be picking tool or weapon just to look for Hamlet. I can't really imagine, like, I could look for a weapon for Tesla coil as well as just 2 hits, but they're so unlikely. But Alpha Rays are not completely unreasonable. If I get Tesla coil, I could take out this and like put these and remove 1 item. Maybe Aiden, although it makes me really slow. Like, the positioning would become like this with Tesla coil here. But I'm uncertain about Hamlet. I think Hamlet's probably too slow, so it'd be like this instead. And Alpha Ray would only be for scaling the Tesla coil. And then I remove Alpha Ray for Hamlet when I get the skill firepower to scale Tesla coil when I use the core. Anyway, that's not what's happening right now, so I go back to this positioning. And let me double check. Yeah, this is what I want. So I didn't get to see it well at Sabertooth. So I'm uncertain if this is actually perma-hasting or if this is weaker than what I had before. Okay, it is perma-haste. Whether it's better, I don't know. So how many times did these activate and how many times did the core activate? 5 core activations. It's not terrible. Let me, I'm gonna watch it again. I want to pay attention to how long this took. So around 200 burn in how many seconds? Like 11 to 12 seconds applying 200 burn. I'm saying 200 because the birds remove, or the heals remove some burn. So about 200 burn. So I'm gonna position with core rightmost and see how much burn gets applied instead. I like Mysterious Portal. Ah, this is a little bit of a problem, but I think this positioning is good enough to beat Mr. Moo. I just have to get regen up. So in this scenario, I'm going rightmost because if I get enough regen to survive the burn, then I'm just completely fine. And this should spam the core enough. Am I completely wrong? I am absolutely wrong.
Just to spice things up.
With that being said, as someone, I'm paying attention to how long that took.
I don't have time.
So that was like 9 seconds for 168. How many activations? Yeah, so the core gets a little bit more activations. Everything else is the same. The QLEDs gets a little bit more activations. Bleeding, which is like why. So then Microdave would have been activated like slightly more because of that. So it seems like it was about the same though. Which makes me think I should keep the positioning like this. Okay, I do want to go for the health over the med kit. I'm trying to decide what I sell. It's going to be the GPU. So I'm not too concerned about losing that fight. I mean, I don't care about the money. And so I don't care about the income. There's like a very small chance of me getting an upgrade hammer, which would have been okay. But I still feel like, unless I'm like 100% certain I'm not beating that fight, which maybe I should have been 100% certain about that. I've not. That's my. I think it's my second time fighting Mr. Moo that early. No, I fought him on day 7 after the thug encounter, or is it day 8? I think it's day 7. So that means I would have been a little bit stronger by then. Anyway, I'm not strong enough to beat the Lich. I've beaten the Lich with a burn board, but I had about 400 more health. I had more, had better flat burn due to my skills. I had crit with building crescendo or tracer fire. So it's not a possibility for me to beat that. So I'm just gonna go to trash golem instead. So now I know Mr. Moo, for me to beat him, I need shielding. Did I have shielding in my stash? For me to beat him this early, I would have needed shielding. And also, the regeneration is not significant enough to beat him. I did not have shielding. Powder keg. Is powder keg possible? These skills suck. The conflagration or beautiful friendship. Conflagration is really good. I'm not gonna consider anything else. So powder keg will activate fast. Will it activate fast enough though? So every time I use Dave, which is like pretty close to being every time I use a small item, it'll charge us for 2. So let's say every 2 seconds, and even less, every second, let's say, this will get charged for 4. I'm saying every second because I think the core should be able to activate on average once per second, and then Aiden will be hasted. So Every second, charge for 4, best case scenario. So 4, 8, 12, 16. After 4 seconds, this would activate, but without the haste, it's less. So without the haste, we ignore Aiden, it's half of that. So probably after like 7 to 8 seconds, this activates. I'm okay with that. Then I put this in. I want to try it. I don't need money. I'll go to Kina since I'm mostly non-weapons.
I can feel our energies resonating.
Oh yeah, Nitro for sure. Okay, Nitro changes things. So that makes this activate probably. So I also I was overestimating how frequently QLEDs activates because it's not every time I use the core. It was every other time I used the core. So it was like half. So it probably would have activated at like 10 to 12 seconds. But now with Nitro, I think it's gonna activate in probably 6 seconds, just off of the top of my head.
Literally.
Going for Aiden and health again. I just need to survive until the powder keg goes off. If I haste to, like, let's say I keep solar farm in somehow. How would that be possible? Like this? No core, no LEDs. This seems dumb. I want to try it. Dumb as in like really bad, but I still want to try it because I think haste on the keg is also not completely unreasonable. He has a small amount of shielding. Wow, that was a lot faster than I expected. Okay, so that's decent. How fast did that activate? Yeah, I was right. It was like 5 to 6 seconds it activated. So that's really good. That's gonna stay good as long as I'm not getting slowed or frozen at the start of combat, which I could mitigate with skills if I get rapid thaw later. I'm just gonna take the health. I'm gonna have to restart to fix this visual bug. I'm not really interested in changing my board. I do need to consider if the haste is irrelevant, because if the haste is irrelevant, I could go back to using this instead. The haste was okay, but I think I'd activate faster if I do keep these, so I want to try it with this instead. I think I just take slow item over weapons. I'm not using any weapons. Okay, Radiant Corsair, this powder keg is not as valuable. The thing that I have to do is remove nitro so I don't burn myself too badly. I should go for the regen. And what's one other item I could put in? I'm not gonna have slows, so it's not Hamlet. It's probably just the thing. Unless I think the self-burn is irrelevant, then I would do nitro. I think the self-burn might be relevant, so I'm gonna stick with this.
I'll make ye my pet. Come perch on my shoulder.
Okay, Solar Farm got hit by the spyglass, so it's a lot harder to charge it, but it's not a big deal. It's probably the best thing to get hit by that. Okay. Now I think I'm willing to sell the pelt. I think it's very unlikely for me to... Probably impossible for me to find the saber-tooth encounter anymore. 10 gold again, I don't need. So I'm just going for silver item. Don't want this. And I don't need the snail. The bug resolved itself, so not an issue. Okay. So back to nitro and these. I didn't get to try this board out, but I am comfortable saying it's better. What do I think about Jules Cafe? I don't think I need the health. I think because of Powder Keg, I have good burst. If I am not winning off of burst, I don't think I'm going to win the late game because I don't have scaling. If they survive my burst, it means they are scaling. So I'm instead going to go and look for potential item upgrades. So I saw a soldering gun. Soldering gun isn't good because it doesn't get charged. Battery isn't good because it itself doesn't get charged. And there's so many other sources of charge that this is just outclassed nowadays. Omega Ray is decent. So I could use that instead of Nitro. I know it makes the powder keg charge slower, but the burn scaling makes it worth, I assume. I'm going Mountain Pass because I want to have another fight and see how this one plays out with no solar farm. Okay, so that was definitely slower. That took like 7 to 8 seconds to activate with no nitro and no solar farm. I guess what I need to consider is if I think I'm winning that fast, plus conflagration, maybe the scaling isn't good at all. I can get rid of the thing. Okay, so I made comments about haste. The haste felt like it was still needed for the keg, so I can take this. Or do I do Radiant Powder Keg? Now, hold on a second. And now I reduce its cooldown. This is a real build, isn't it? Okay, so I just want to get as many burn activations as possible. So that's why Nitro's good here. Bomb Squad is good. I can't fit Omega Ray in. I think everything on my board gives me as many burns as I can get. I can't take out... I could do the thing here. I take out these two for solar farm. I think that is valid. I think I do like this instead. Since the haste remains, I mean, since the keg remains, I think the haste on it is actually relevant. So this is a fun build. Now all I need is to upgrade it and get building crescendo. So since I'm going coreless, I don't need to upgrade co-LEDs. And since I'm not going to have a slow, I'm not going to upgrade Hamlet. So then that, because of that, there's no reason to go to Orion anymore. I think my board is probably fine. If I get a heavy enchant, I could put Hamlet in over Aiden, I guess. Although Aiden is important for getting things started early. There's no way I go to relax. I don't think I go to Orion. I think I'm not looking for tools. I'd rather just look at JJ for items
Friend. I mean, a
related to
customer.
what I currently have.
Happy to make a sale. Sad to say goodbye.
Oh, I hit a bomb squad upgrade, so that's definitely worth. Wandering Shoal. What do I think about getting thick hides? Or thick hide? That further incentivizes me getting a heavy enchant. Since I'm coreless, I don't pick Simon, even though I love this merchant. They're so kind to me. It's probably crit skills for building crescendo, right?
Tell you your weakness. That's for me to sell to your enemies.
And nothing else is worth taking there. When you slow, gain crit. I guess if I play around... If I get another source of haste, then related to the core,
One more thread in the way of the needle.
I could go for that. I have 2 gold items. I'll go for Goldie. Tesla coil. I mean, if I could make it a fiery Tesla coil, that'd be sick, I guess. But I don't think I'm... Like, I don't actually know when the next enchant comes. But this doesn't contribute to the burn or the keg win condition, so I can't purchase that. Yep, nothing worthwhile there. Monster Ranch or medium items. So the upgrade from gold to diamond on Microdave is only important if I had an Uzi instead, because Dave activates when I use first Aiden, whether it's at gold or diamond. But if I have an Uzi instead and I use it, Dave will not like, so Dave will be at 4 seconds remaining and then get charged for 3. So it'll have 1 second remaining before it gets used off of Uzi, which means it's not. If I had an Uzi, I would want to upgrade Dave, but I don't think I actually care about putting an Uzi on my board in this situation, so I'm just gonna go to Monster Ranch. And I will reduce the keg's cooldown even further. There's no world where I put Amber on the board, unfortunately. It's not fast enough. So 18.8 down to 18.2. Not bad. Yeah, I still value the haste over the core and the slow, even though the slow will give me a small amount of crit. The crit only matters for the first barrel activation. Okay, so they have shield scaling, so I need to go as fast as I can. Because if I'm not fast enough, they outscale. Looks like I lose. Oh, I drew it. I managed to draw that. If I didn't have a barrel, would I win? I think there's no way. So what happened? It was just the petrifying gaze that made it close. So if I had put the slows in and no haste, in the moment where I was frozen, this keg still had haste, so that the haste is acting as charges, like delayed charges in that situation. So if I weren't, my board wasn't hasted in that scenario, while frozen. This is radiant, so this is still charging because it's radiant. But if my board was frozen and this wasn't hasted, that means it would be charging half as much in that duration, which potentially means I would have lost. Although I would have gotten more charges off the core in the meantime. I don't know. I feel like I'd be more confident in getting out of Solar Farm if I had an enchant that related to slow. And the slows wouldn't have done anything to my opponent. The slow would only be for this skill, but I think this skill is also too slow. Maybe it was a mistake to take it. There's no small items I'd be looking for, so I'm going for the gumballs to put crit on the keg. Because it's getting to the point where I still, unfortunately, need to rely on luck to win. Because my opponents are going to have a lot of shield scaling. And if I don't one-shot them, I will get outscaled, unfortunately. I'm just gonna go here to upgrade Bomb Squad. Instead of upgrading my core, since I'm not using the core, I wouldn't care about the upgrade anyway, so it would only be for health. But I'd rather have Bomb Squad Diamond. Okay, Roaming Isle gives me shielding if I get this. Well, it says when you heal, charge a shield item. No, it doesn't give me shielding. Okay, so what am I thinking? I'm still just playing for the upgrade on the keg, which is at level 13. Looks like I'm not gonna make it there before the next fight though. 8 gold I don't need. Gold tier loot item might be more worth than the gold tier item now because I want... Okay, there's no way I play the scarf, right? Maybe? No, because I have Radiant Keg. I don't play the scarf. So I just want to potentially get an insect wing to reduce the keg's cooldown even further. $16.6, not bad. I'm not gonna rely on scaling at all, so those are out. I'm just gonna pick health. And temporary boost or fish for microdave. As I already said, the microdave upgrade is not really important, so I'm just gonna take health. Let's see. So I still, every time I'm gonna be saying this, I need to pay attention to the haste. It was important in the fight where the petrifying gaze happened. This opponent has a slow, no freeze, only a half health slow, so I should be fine. But it's also a barrel that scales probably even more. So I'm actually dead here, unfortunately. Maybe I'm not dead. They scale so much. It's such a shame that this is like the only way to win is to race. Even with I've had a fight where I had 5,000 burn on them and it's just not enough. This is kind of really dumb, but whatever. So yeah, I just need crit, and then it's fine. So because of those scenarios, maybe I should be going for slow targets. But even so, my argument against it is that by the time this scales, I think my opponent's shielding would have outscaled me anyway, but maybe I'm wrong. So I'll try it. Because, like, how many slows am I expecting to happen? It's a silver, no, it's a gold qualities. So, and it's hasted, so it's probably a slow every, okay, upgraded keg is great. It's gonna be a slow every second. So 10% crit chance after 10 seconds, is that really any good? Probably a lot less than every second, right? It's gonna be probably every half second, I think. So let's say I get 20% crit chance every 10 seconds. That could be significant. I think regardless, I'm gonna have to commit to this, so I should probably sell the solar farm. Okay, let's see how different this is with no haste. Okay, the haste doesn't matter. The crit went up to 13. So that was only 4% crit. So the core doesn't matter though. Or this LEDs doesn't matter. Maybe I upgrade slowed targets or conflagration. Fiery's okay. I'd rather do slowed targets. There's no chance at building crescendo from these. This one,
Eager to test your abilities.
shield bash is insane.
Immeasurably.
This, so shield bash means my opponents are charging the keg and they will end up dying. So the pufferfishes lose now, easily. Living flame means when I'm at half health, I'm charging a ton. But by the time I'm at half health, it probably means I'm going to be dying very quickly. This allows me to survive longer, but I don't think my survival is the issue, so it has to be shield bash.
The non-Sphinxian could learn that. Impressive.
Then I'm just going to go for XP. So, another thing. There's a world where if I want to tech against shield bash, no, I think I just have to hope that I am gonna win the shield bash race, assuming my opponent has shield bash. They don't, so am I fine here? They don't have any defenses, so I should be fine. How many times did Bomb Squad and their core activate? So they charged me 8 times. So yeah, the Momosaur with Ballista is not really great. It slows them down so much. But if they had non-weapons, I would have also killed them quickly anyway. Do I fish for quality buff at Curio or feathers or insect wings? I could, but since I have shield bash, it doesn't really matter anymore. So instead I just go for health because I simply need to survive. Okay. I can't put deadly on this, so this is completely useless.
Do you feel his flames whispering?
I don't need the regen. I'm just gonna take the 2 gold. What am I thinking? I don't want this because of shield bash. What I'm thinking is I do this. I don't mind taking Singularity. I'm still going for loot, I think. I know this could be better at finding Dave. I don't care about Dave, so I just do this. This is useless, but I'll take it anyway. Because why not, right? This is... I don't know, I can't play it, right? It's too slow. I don't want to. I don't want to sell the Cutlass in case I see the octopus, the Captain Octopus guy, twice more, and the second time I get a tiny Cutlass, and then because I'll upgrade it to Diamond, and it means I'm guaranteed not to get the Cutlass on the third time. So then I could potentially get the skill and use that to reduce the keg's cooldown. Which means I just get rid of this scrap. It's just temporary boost for the health here. And more crit. I could have sold the Singularity instead of the scrap. The scrap is probably going to be more useful. Okay, same situation. I'm just gonna assume they're gonna instantly die because they're gonna be charging my keg. But if I am charging them, then I'm in trouble. Looks fine to me. So that was 14% crit. I need more crit. Now what do I think? I could upgrade QLEDs now for more crit scaling. I take the health for sure. This one is a nice way of me guaranteeing the crit if I get the Foreboding Wind skill.
Return to the Bazaar. Do not corrupt us.
Definitely skills, definitely skills. Left eye is amazing. I'm not even gonna roll, that's just a great skill. So now I'm at 36% crit. Curio could give me crit or cooldown reduction. I don't really care about any of these. This is okay, I guess. Cooldown reduction is great. Don't need the damage. Now I could do Simon since I'm using the core. What exactly would I be looking for though? Would I rather get a freeze skill? Yeah, use this for more slow duration. I reduce the keg's cooldown for sure. What could this give me? I could take a look. So I want to go to skills on how Bazaar, filter to be dually skills. Building crescendo. No, I want exclusively dually skills, so not any of the other classes. So I could get intrusion countermeasures to use all of my friends, which means I'm charging the keg. I could get overclocked just to reduce Decora's cooldown. And well-oiled machine. So there's 3 skills there. I think it's probably... I don't care about the freeze, so I think it's worth... Those aren't what I'm looking for. These aren't what I'm looking for, but I'll take liquid cold, I guess.
I wrote this widget just for you, Dooley, because you're my favorite.
So, if this is matchbox, I win instantly. If this is crook or something, I might have a chance because I think I'll still be fast enough. If this is large weapon pig with shield bash, then I'm probably dead. But I can't play around everything. I just have to pick. So I think my board is favored against 2 of them. If I remove everything like I did against the Void Golem, then I could win against the large item probably. Yeah, this should be fine. Unless they have shield scaling, but I don't see any.
I believed in myself and I still lost.
So because they had no shield scaling, eventually the coil LEDs would have gotten this to 100% crit. So then eventually I would have always been able to kill them. So Radiant Powder Keg, the powder keg came from Trash Golem. So Trash Golem is actually really good to go to on the Ignition Core. And I had to go to Trash Golem instead of the Lich, so it's actually a really important thing to keep in mind. Even if you could beat the Lich, the Trash Golem's Powder Keg is actually a really powerful thing to pivot to.